Welcome back to the broadcast. Well, you probably know that February is National Heart Disease Awareness Month, and we are kicking off our coverage by introducing you to a woman who is fighting to raise awareness. Shay Brown is a survivor. Welcome, Shay, and I want you to share your story because it's kind of a shocking one about heart disease.
Yes. In July 2012, my husband and I were brand new parents to a perfect little boy we named Aiden. And about 24 hours after delivery, I started having complications. I was having trouble breathing. I was really short of breath.
Had you had any problems during the pregnancy, though, with breathing?
No. I mean, it was July in Texas, so I was really swollen and uncomfortable. Yeah. But no, it was my first pregnancy, so I didn't know if anything was out of the ordinary. And so they ran through some tests, and after a CT scan at the hospital, the doctor came into the room, and I don't remember much of the conversation, but she said the word mass, and that there was a mass in my heart. And that's about all I remember speaking with her. She called a cardiologist to come consult. They did an echocardiogram, and very shortly after that, a cardiologist came in and said, I know you've been through a lot, but you have a pretty large mass in the left atrium of your heart.
A tumor on your heart.
Yes.
Which is very rare, we should say.
It is. It's incredibly rare. And it's a cardiac myxoma. And he told me and my husband that we were going to need to say goodbye to our little boy.
They didn't think you were going to make it.
Well, I needed to say what I needed to say to my family. They were transporting me to another hospital, so I was going to have to leave him.
This is a benign tumor, but they still, obviously, it needs to be removed immediately.
Right. So they transported us immediately to Texas Health Presbyterian of Dallas.
Did they give you chances? Did they talk to your husband about statistically what your chances of survival were?
I know that they had a very honest conversation with him. I haven't asked details about that conversation. Yeah. My husband was a medic in the military, so he has a medical background. And to see how torn up he got, I knew that it was pretty serious.
This is not something that people think of when they think of traditional heart disease.
Right.
You think of clogged arteries and things like that.
Yes, and the fact is that heart disease affects 1 in 3 women, and it could be seriously fatal. And it's not something that we think about being present. It's not only that it affects your elderly neighbor down the street. I was 26 years old, and heart disease wasn't even on my radar. I didn't know the signs and symptoms.
And and you weren't even sure, because you didn't know them, you weren't even sure if you had signs and symptoms before delivering. Mm-hmm. How has it changed the way that you live your life now?
It's changed our lives 100%.
At what are you, 28 now? 27,
yes,
28?
28. We're very mindful of our diets. We try very seriously to eat a healthy balance of nutrition and make sure that we're really fueling our bodies with the food that it needs to thrive on. And we also have made exercise a normal part of our day. We're hoping to set the example for Aiden that exercise and eating healthy is not something that you do every once in a while when you need to get in shape, but a lifestyle. It's something that he's going to grow up knowing that this is normal.
And these are tangible things that you can do, but a lot of women don't understand that they have a family history of heart disease and how that affects them, and that's a big piece of it, isn't it?
It is, it is. And sometimes, like in my instance, I don't have a history of heart disease in my family. Aiden does now. So we'll need to watch for signs and symptoms for his family. But it is something to educate yourself on. Know the signs and symptoms of heart disease, and know that if you have a family history of heart disease, you really need to be checking into that.
Okay, and can we talk about the Go Red for Women event?
Yes, Go Red for Women. We're partnering with the American Heart Association, and their Go Red for Women event is this Friday. It's going to be at the Hilton Anatole. We're having a luncheon in the Grand Ballroom, and we're really excited. Former Vice President Dick Cheney is going to be our keynote speaker.
Of course, he's had his own experience with heart disease.
He's had a very long history in battle with heart disease, so what he has to say is really going to be very impactful and very educational. And then not only are we going to hear from him, but his cardiologist is going to be there as well, and so is his wife, because heart disease doesn't affect just the survivor.
Right.
So it's going to be great to hear from multiple perspectives on that.
Well, thank you for coming and sharing your story with us. I know you've opened a lot of eyes this morning, people remembering now to take this so seriously and to look for warning signs. So don't forget to get your tickets to the Go Red for Women luncheon being held on Friday at the Hilton Anatole in Dallas. This year's featured speaker, again, as we said, is former Vice President Dick Cheney. Tickets are $150. Well worth it to hear him speak, I'm sure. You can get more details about it by going to our website, thebroadcasttv.com. Just click on today's links. When we come back, we're breaking down the good and bad of Super Bowl ads. Did you have a favorite? That's when the broadcast returns. Don't go away.